The more we are having the conversation and the more people are now more aware, you'll agree with me, the conversations are more now than they were before.
Yeah, for sure.
So before there was the cultural belief that mental health, mental health disorders probably has to do with certain people who are looking at it like the cause of it is either a spiritual attack or it's a curse. And in our communities, you'll find when someone has a mental health disorder, the first person they go to is probably a spiritual leader or a witch doctor or those traditional healer. But we are moving into a space where people realize this is mental illness and they are able to come to hospital, to a psychiatrist, to a psychologist, to a counselor, and we are acknowledging this is a disease that needs conventional treatment. Yes, and then now we are having more people coming out to speak about their mental health illness journey. Before it was a taboo topic. I wouldn't confidently stand in front of people and say I've walked this journey of probably a depressive illness. But now we are seeing a lot of champions of people who've lived the experience and are willing to share. So that's a beautiful, different space, and we hope we continue in the same journey so that we break the stigma and we give a voice to the mental health champions.
So we've not yet gotten to a point where we have, broken that stigma. It still exists around us, or have we been able to break the stigma?
I would say it's a journey. We have started it. Is it where we would want it to be? No. It should be where, the same way I say I have a headache, it should be the same way I say I am struggling with anxiety.
And not get weird looks for it.
Yes, and people start treating you in a certain way. We are not truly where we should be, where there's no stigma, there's confidence, there's a voice. We are not yet there, but we have started the journey.
So maybe how do we get there? What are the things that should be incorporated? What individual duty do we all have to ensure that we get to a point where we do not stigmatize, mental health, wellness rather?
Okay. Thank you, Vivian. So I'll start from the point of an individual. As an individual, are we very aware of our own mental health? And are we very intentional about it? Are we able to tell, I'm not in a good space right now, probably I'm stressed and I'm struggling with something, and speak it out or get help for it? And then also as an individual, the people around you, are you able to support them? If someone opens up to you and says, I am struggling, are you able to embrace them and be that sisters or brothers keeper and be the support they need? And then we go at family level. The members of our families who are struggling with various mental health issues, give an example, alcohol use, how are we treating them? How are we allowing them to interact in the family? Are we viewing them as lesser beings or equal beings? So are we the social support, the social capital an individual needs? We go to the level of the community. How are we treating the individual who attempted suicide a month ago? Are we stigmatizing that whole family and we can't associate with them? Or we are allowing them into community? Are we allowing them to have jobs? Or we'll decide, I can't give him a job because they have a mental health disorder? Are we able to have conversation in the nyumba kumis and in the barazas and make mental health issues a conversation and accept? Probably in our village we have a lot of young people who are struggling with substance or alcohol, and we talk about it as is and come up with ways to help the people in the community. We go higher to the policy and governance. From the level of county government, national government, what policies are we putting in place that favor individuals who have lived experience? And I want to look at it from the point, are we making policies that promote mental health, that prevent mental health disorder and provide care and link to care individuals who already have mental health? So when we look at it from all those angles, it gives us a view. We all have a role a role to play, from the individual up to the governance level.
How do you get to know when it's time for you to take that mental break?
I would say there is no one size fits all. There's who Vivian is. There's who you know you are, and your family knows you are, and the people around you. So when you notice there's a deviation from who you usually are, probably there's something not right. Probably you're able to deliver a certain task in this period, and you realize you're taking an hour longer, you're not concentrating enough. Probably there's something. There's a difference in how you behave, in how you act, in how you feel, and it's persistent for a while. Then probably there's something not right. It might not get to the level where we diagnose with a disorder, but it shows there's a push on your mental health space. So it's a change from who an individual is. For example, if I am a loud person, I become quiet, then that's a sign. And if I'm a quiet person, I become loud, then that's something different from who I usually am. So it's a deviation from how people know you as and how you know yourself as.
So you can be able to actually just I wanted to say self-diagnose yourself. You know, when it comes to mental health, you can be able to tell that, okay, I think I am not doing well. It's possible for you to do that.
I would use the term, you can be self-aware.
Self-aware.
I wouldn't advocate for individuals giving themselves diagnosis, because at times we can over or under. I would leave that space to qualified professionals, but you can tell, you can be very self-aware to say, I feel different, and probably something is not right, and I need to get help for it.
All right. On that note, allow us to take a short breather. We'll be back to continue with the conversation and try look at the collaborative and comprehensive approach to treatment when it comes to matters mental wellness. Don't go too far. And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. We are talking matters mental health awareness, and joining me is Dr. Janet Mwende. Now, we had already begun our conversation, and right now I would love for you to just elaborate for us what a comprehensive and collaborative approach of treatment to mental wellness looks like.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. Probably I take us back a bit. In the causes of mental health, we don't have one single cause. We can say this is the reason someone has mental illness. So it's an interplay, it's a complex interplay of many factors, biological, psychological, social factors. So even when we come to the treatment, so that we are able to address the mental health disorder or illness comprehensively, you have to look at it. You have to make a treatment plan covering the various aspects that would have led someone to get mental illness. Because if you don't, it will be half treatment, if I might use that. So in approach to treatment for an individual with mental illness or mental health disorder, we have to consider the biological aspect. By biological treatment is now where the medicine, the pharmacological aspect comes in. And at this point, I need to say not all mental health disorders need medicine or treatment. It depends on, one, the type of diagnosis and the severity. So there are disorders which we do not need the pharmacological aspect. So the biological aspect entails the pharmacological aspect. And then we go to the psychological aspect. So this individual has probably passed through a difficult past, what we call the adverse childhood traumas. They have gone through abuse, various forms. So you have to address this. So we address this using psychotherapy. What we say, you get to be seen by a psychologist so that they are able to evaluate you. One, to make a clear diagnosis and be able to list the issues this individual is dealing with. Probably they have had multiple losses, so they need to to deal with their grief. They have been abused as children or in their current situation, so that has to be dealt with. They have been neglected, that has to be dealt with. They have formed a way of thinking that has led them to have mental illness, so especially if you've grown in an environment where everything is negative and you've believed the negativity and your form of thinking is in the negative. So that has to be unlearned. And that is done through the various forms of therapies, what we call psychotherapy. So that's a psychological aspect to treatment. And then there is the social aspect. We say a person is not an island. We are social beings. So you come from a family, you come from a workplace, you come from a community. So what are the issues in the society, in your family, that could have led you to get mental illness? So we need to address that. In mental health, there are times we even do social visits where a patient is admitted in a psychiatric facility, and the social workers go to the family and community to analyze and investigate what is happening at the family, at the community level that has led this person to be unwell, and what is in that setting that we can use to get them treatment. So there's the family support is a form of treatment for mental health illness. An individual who is alone with no family, their outcome is very different from an individual who has a family that is surrounding them. Yes. We go further into the friends. Who is your social capital? Who's your to-go person? Who's able to check on you and keep you on tab? So we have to use that as part of the treatment. So we also look at your workplace. The workplace can be a reason why you are unwell, but it can also be protective. The fact that I know I am a medic and I have a place to work to, it's a capital that will help in the recovery journey. So we have to know, where do you work? Is there a stressor there? How do we deal with it? And is the workplace protective, and we capitalize on that? For example, when probably an individual has struggled with alcohol or substance use, part of their recovery journey, you have to reintegrate them back to their workplace, to their family. So you see, now it's a comprehensive aspect to it. And now we are going further beyond the biological, psychological, social. We are looking at the spiritual aspect. Yes, so what if a patient has a belief system, we tap into that. It's a collaboration rather than a competition. So how can we tap into your belief system? So there are times I've had to call the pastors or sheikhs of the patients I'm seeing to help me in the management. And in such situation, the outcome is better, because there is that strong belief system in what we believe in our spirituality. So we tap into that. So when you look at this, you see there's the doctor, there's the psychiatrist who's treating using medication, there's the psychologist, and there's the counselor also playing a part. There's the social worker, there's the family, there's the workmates, there are the friends who are playing a part in the treatment plan, and there's the spiritual leader who's playing a part. So that brings in the collaborative and the comprehensive approach to mental illness, which is very different from how we approach other illnesses, where it's malaria, it's caused by this, you treat. But for mental health, you can't approach it using a linear path like that, because you'll miss out. Because the reason someone is unwell is an interplay of all these factors. So the same way in the treatment, you have to put in all those factors as part of the treatment plan. So this definitely differs from the traditional way of doing things. You know, as you said, normally just go to the hospital, speak to the doctor, get my medication, and that's it. But as you're saying, this is how collaborative and comprehensive looks like. Everyone is involved. Every aspect of your life is involved in the treatment. And you know, just speaking of that and mentioning that, you know, some of these disorders do not need medicine. You know, maybe it just needs the collaboration, whereby you just talk to each one involved, and you may find where the problem is and get to solve it. And even speaking about that, just on a lighter note, I read, I think 2 days ago, that Sweden is the first country whereby doctors can now prescribe travel as a form of medication.
And I was like, maybe this is something we should also get to absorb over here, because sometimes maybe it's just, there's a lot happening in your life and you just need that break, you know, and that can be a prescription. So I read that and it came as a shocker, because I can imagine going to hospital and the doctor prescribes travel. Vivian, no medicine, just go travel. It's actually true. We do that a lot. There are times you see a patient and you don't give them medication. Your plan is, what is it that you enjoy to do? Someone says, I enjoy long walks. You're like, so we need that long walks as scheduled, as medication. So we're saying you're walking 5 times, 4 times a day. And that's all we're giving. And you notice a difference. Because there's the bit where, one, your physical health is sorted, but also as you exercise, the dopamines, the happy hormones are released, and you realize you're actually better. So in the mild forms probably of disease like depression, in the moderate forms, you can actually prescribe a hobby. Yes, like a routine you're doing every day, and you do it for several weeks, and someone comes in and they're like, I'm doing much better. Yes. So yeah, if travel is your thing, then it is your form of medication. I love that. I love that. Now, you know, when you talk about mental health, most people, when you say, oh, that person has a mental health issue, like most of the times we don't really know the disorders associated with mental health. It's just a blanket statement. Or sometimes the word that people are used to nowadays, you just say that person is depressed, or I feel depressed. But then I would love to understand, maybe this is something we can find another time whereby we'll look at each and every one of them. But just to get to highlight, what are some disorders that are termed as mental health disorders? Okay. Thank you, Vivian. Yes, it would be beautiful if we would go into details of the various disorders so that the listeners can learn and be very aware. So mental health disorders span from all ages, from children to the elderly. So I can span the same way. So what are some of the issues in the younger children? So we talk of the neurodevelopmental disorders that happen at the time of development. We've heard of autism spectrum disorders. We've heard of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorders. We have intellectual disabilities, where a child is not able to think and act at the level of their age. So we span into teenagehood, and early adult is when most of the mental health disorders present themselves. So we talk of depression, we talk of anxiety disorders, where someone has this constant worry, this constant fear. And for mental health disorders, they affect your functioning, your social, your occupational, who you are. Okay, so we all experience fear, we all experience anxiety, we all have worry. But when it gets to a point where you're not able to function, then we are moving towards disorder. Then we have the psychosis, and in the line of psychosis, it could be due to substance use. We have had a lot of weed, cannabis, and it's associated with a perceptual disturbance. We have schizophrenia. I know I'm using terms, but we'll get time to go deeper into it. We have alcohol issues, related complications. We have substance use and abuse, including the abuse of even prescription drugs. So we go further into as you move towards the old age, we talk of dementia, where there's progressive memory loss. So you realize it's a whole span of disorders. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we definitely are going to find time for that, because I feel like it would be easier for us to get to look at one disorder at a time, so that we are able to all learn. Because when it comes to mental health, I think we're all learning on the go, because as we said, it's not something that was being talked about openly. It was taboo. So now that we can talk about it, we're going to get into it deeper and get to understand all of that. Now, what would you say are some daily habits and routines that support one's mental well-being? Okay. There's a phrase that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, it's an habit. So what is the habit that you repeat, one individual repeatedly does? So in self-care, it has to be something you do as a routine. It almost comes to a point where it's automatic.
So one, it has to be something an individual loves. So if you do something you don't love, then it becomes work. Okay? So there's no one code fits all, so it's very individualized. What is it that makes you happy and makes you relax, and you can deal with stress? So is it walking? Is it swimming? Is it running? Is it hiking? Is it baking? Whatever it is for an individual, choose it. Choose one or two things, and the difference is let it be repeated multiple times a week. It's not a once in a month habit, okay? So there's the physical or activity you do. Then there's the bit of stay socially connected. Do you have a debriefing buddy? Do you have a friend when things are thick you're able to call and you know you won't be judged and they'll just listen? You don't even need solution, you just need a listening ear. It doesn't have to be a professional. It can be a friend. So remain socially connected and have a debriefing buddy, someone you constantly talk to so that things don't pile into a mountain, okay? And then have a schedule, have sleep hygiene, eat well. I know we've had this a lot. Have a balanced diet. It makes a whole difference. And this is a habit, so it's something you do every single day. So it calls for you being intentional and to think about it and plan for it. You realize that's very basic and it makes a whole difference.
It feels very basic because it's your usual day-to-day.
Yes.
But as you say, it makes a difference, just the fact that you're doing it over and over and over again.
Yes.
And you know, what's one thing that you wish the public would better understand on matters mental wellness?
Okay. Mental wellness, one, it's an integral part of who we are. It's something we have to be very intentional and to embrace, okay? And be very aware of our mental illness, because once you're aware, you're able to pick when it's early and get help for it, and you're able to pick it even for the people around us. And be gracious to the people around you. If they are struggling, let's not judge. Let's be each other's keeper and hold each other as we walk, because definitely two are better than one. Yes, and a problem shared is a problem solved. Yes.
As we come to a conclusion of our conversation, would you say treatment for mental health is accessible in the country?
Yes, Vivian, I would say that mental health treatment is available both in public hospitals and also in the private sector. Yes, and I'm talking from level 3, level 4, level 5, even level 6 hospitals where I work in. We have mental health professionals who can offer care, and if there's need for referral or link to care upwards, it is very available. And then from the COVID period, we also are now offering telepsychiatry, where you can get help through helplines. Kenya Red Cross and even Ministry of Health has helplines if someone is struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts. You're able to call toll-free and get help. So you don't have to physically be available where the mental health professionals are. You can get help from wherever you are. Yes, and even in the era of AI, we are getting a lot of help even in that space. So it is more available now than it was before. Even in the farthest corners of Kenya, someone can get help.
So if you're struggling with it, there's available help.
Yes,
so
there is available
go to
help.
Healthcare facility and you'll receive the help that you need.
Yes.
I thank you so very much, Doc, for joining us for this conversation. Maybe if you can just give us your final remarks as we say goodbye.
Okay. Probably I say where help is available. I work for Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital. It's a government level 6 hospital. So if anyone needs psychiatry or psychological care, there's a toll-free number, 1558. They can reach out and get care. Yes.
1558.
1558.
1558. That's a toll-free number.
Yes.
If you're struggling with things surrounding mental wellness, that is the number that you can get to call. It is free of charge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vivian.
We're definitely looking forward to have you back so that we can get to dissect each and every disorder one by one.
Okay.
All right, this is where we end this particular conversation. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in